Ever found yourself delaying tasks you know you should be doing, only to be overwhelmed by them later? You're not alone. This common experience is known as procrastination, and it's a widespread epidemic affecting many of us. It's that nagging tendency to put off tasks despite knowing the potential negative outcomes. Procrastination is not just about being lazy or disorganized. It's a complex psychological behavior that can lead to stress, decreased productivity, and missed opportunities. It's that sinking feeling when deadlines approach and your to-do list has only grown longer. It's the regret of knowing you could have done better if only you had started sooner. So why do we keep doing this to ourselves? The reasons vary, but it's often due to fear of failure, perfectionism, or simply feeling overwhelmed by the task at hand. However, the good news is, procrastination is not a life sentence. Procrastination may seem like a tough habit to break, but it's definitely achievable. Ready to find out how? Firstly, let's understand why we procrastinate. Procrastination, that sneaky thief of time, is often misunderstood. It's not simply laziness or poor time management, but rather a complex interplay of psychological factors. One such factor is fear of failure. Many of us hesitate to start tasks because we're afraid we won't succeed. We might worry about how others will judge our performance, or we might dread the disappointment of not meeting our own high standards. This fear can be paralyzing, causing us to put off tasks indefinitely. Then there's perfectionism, the demanding taskmaster that insists everything we do must be flawless. When we believe that anything less than perfect is unacceptable, we can feel overwhelmed before we even begin. Perfectionism can lead us to procrastinate as we wait for the right moment to start a task, a moment when we feel fully prepared and capable of achieving perfection. Lack of motivation is another common cause of procrastination. Sometimes we simply don't feel like doing what needs to be done. The task may seem boring, difficult, or irrelevant to our goals. In these cases, we might find ourselves delaying the task in favor of more enjoyable or easier activities. Understanding these root causes is crucial because it allows us to tackle procrastination from the ground up. It's not enough to simply try to force ourselves to be more disciplined or organized. We need to address the underlying fears, perfectionistic tendencies, and motivational issues that fuel our procrastination. So, the next time you find yourself avoiding a task, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, am I afraid of failing? Am I waiting for the perfect moment? Do I just not feel like doing this right now? By answering these questions honestly, you can start to understand your own patterns of procrastination. And with that understanding, you can begin to develop strategies to overcome it. Once we understand why we procrastinate, we can start to tackle the problem head on. So, how do we stop procrastinating? Step 1, prioritize your tasks. Now you might be wondering, why is prioritizing so crucial? Well, here's the thing. When we have a myriad of tasks to complete, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, leading us to put things off. But if we prioritize our tasks, we can tackle them one at a time based on their importance and urgency. Think about using techniques like the Eisenhower box. This method helps us categorize tasks into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. This helps us identify which tasks require our immediate attention and which can be scheduled for later. Remember, not all tasks are created equal. Some are more impactful in reaching our goals than others. By prioritizing, we can focus our energy on tasks that really matter, leaving less room for procrastination. Prioritizing helps us focus on what really matters and reduces the temptation to procrastinate on less important tasks. Step 2 in the fight against procrastination. Break down tasks into manageable chunks. This is a strategy that you might have heard before, but it's worth repeating because of its effectiveness. Breaking down tasks can make the difference between feeling overwhelmed and gaining a sense of control over your work. Let's take a moment to consider why this is so beneficial. First, when we're faced with a large task, it's easy to feel daunted. It's like standing at the base of a mountain, staring up at the peak, unsure of how we're ever going to get there. But if we break that mountain into smaller hills, each one becomes a less intimidating climb. Second, breaking down tasks can make it easier to get started, which is often the hardest part. Instead of looking at a single, enormous task, you're looking at a series of smaller, more manageable tasks. Each small task feels achievable, and completing one gives you the momentum to tackle the next. For example, let's consider a common task many of us face: writing a report. Instead of viewing it as one huge task, break it down. Start with researching the topic, then outline your main points, next draft each section, then edit and proofread. Each of these steps is a task in itself, but far less daunting than trying to write a report all in one go. Or let's take another example: cleaning the house. Instead of the monstrous task of cleaning the entire house in one go, break it down room by room. Today, tackle the kitchen, tomorrow the living room, and so on. Each day's task becomes more manageable and less daunting. By breaking tasks down, we're not just making them seem less overwhelming, we're also creating a clear path of action, which can help to reduce anxiety and increase our focus and productivity. And with each small task we complete, we're building momentum and confidence, further fueling our progress. So remember, when you're faced with a big task and you find yourself slipping into procrastination, take a step back and break it down. By breaking tasks down, we can make a start more manageable and reduce the temptation to put things off. Step 3. Set clear, achievable goals. Imagine you're on a journey without a map or a destination in mind. You're likely to wander aimlessly, right? The same principle applies to our everyday tasks. Without clear goals, we tend to drift, and procrastination seizes the opportunity to creep in. Setting clear, achievable goals gives us a sense of direction. It provides a target to aim for, a finish line to cross. It's like having a roadmap for your tasks, guiding you each step of the way. Goal setting helps maintain focus. It keeps our eyes on the prize, reducing the chance of getting sidetracked or overwhelmed. And remember, these goals need to be achievable. Setting unrealistic goals can lead to frustration and ultimately, more procrastination. Lastly, goals fuel motivation. When we know what we're working towards, we're more likely to roll up our sleeves and dive in. We're less likely to hit the snooze button on our tasks. With clear goals in place, we're more motivated to get started and less likely to delay. Step 4. Eliminate distractions. Distractions are the little thieves of time that sneak in and steal our focus, leading us down the path of procrastination. They come in many forms, from the buzzing of a smartphone notification to the lure of social media, or even the chatter of a noisy environment. These distractions can be insidious, pulling our attention away from what we need to do. But there are ways to combat them. One effective strategy is to turn off notifications on your devices. This simple action can give you back control over when and where your attention is directed. Another method is to create a dedicated workspace. This space should be free from as many distractions as possible, allowing you to concentrate on the task at hand. Remember, the goal here isn't to eliminate all distractions, it's to manage them effectively. By eliminating distractions, we can create a productive environment that encourages focus and reduces procrastination. So, we've tackled the reasons behind procrastination and provided steps to overcome it. In our journey today, we've unmasked the silent productivity thief, procrastination, and armed ourselves with the tools to reclaim our time and potential. Let's take a moment to recap the knowledge we've gathered. We started by understanding procrastination, acknowledging that it's not merely about laziness, but a complex interplay of fear, perfectionism, and lack of motivation. Recognizing this is the first step towards overcoming procrastination. Next, we learned the importance of prioritizing tasks. Whether it's through the Eisenhower matrix or simple to-do lists, having a clear idea of what needs to be done first can help us face our tasks head-on. Remember, not everything needs to be done immediately, and understanding this can alleviate the stress that often fuels procrastination. Breaking down tasks was our third step. Large tasks can seem daunting, but by breaking them into manageable parts, they become less intimidating, making it easier for us to start. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, after all. Then, we explored the significance of setting clear goals. Knowing what you want to achieve gives you a destination to strive towards. It's easier to stay on track when you know where you're going. Finally, we discussed the necessity of eliminating distractions. In an age where our attention is constantly pulled in 100 different directions, learning to focus on the task at hand is more important than ever. By creating a conducive environment, we can enhance our productivity and reduce the chances of falling into the procrastination trap. Remember, overcoming procrastination is a process, not an overnight fix. It's like climbing a mountain. There might be slips and falls, but each step takes you closer to the peak. The tools we've discussed today, understanding why we procrastinate, prioritizing tasks, breaking down tasks, setting clear goals, and eliminating distractions, are your climbing gear. With these steps, you're on the right track to becoming more productive and less stressed. Good luck on your journey to overcoming procrastination. Remember, the only time that's guaranteed is the present moment. So, make the most of it. Good luck.